Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is the Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 6 review. This is from a live stream back in 2021, although the other 5 episodes that were from live streams I made into separate videos. I'm not sure why I didn't do this one. I guess you'll figure that out from the review, but anything in this video was from a stream in 2021, so any speculation about Cap 4 at the time is what we knew it as. Was purely because we didn't know anything. So I thought I'd keep it in. It's a little cool time capsule, and since this episode is the last thing you saw Falcon or Captain America in before the new movie, I thought it was kind of relevant. So I hope you enjoy. So Falcon Winter Soldier Episode 6. I'm going to write spoiler in the chat so we can get on to this. Spoilers. So, Falcon Winter Soldier Episode 6. I think this is an episode that tries to act like this is wrapped up in a nice little bow. But, I don't think it actually does. It just kind of makes you believe it does. And I think this show, I've noticed a lot of people bring up that they really didn't like. Overall, they didn't like it, and I think the show was a bit of a was a mess. Really, I really do believe that, and I think both these shows have been WandaVision and this. It seems like people were a little less into this show overall. I think WandaVision was better at being a mess than Falcon Winter Soldier was just a mess at the end. But I will say Marvel, its growing pains were really at the beginning as a studio, as a movie studio. So I fully get that as the beginning of a real TV studio, because the other shows were a different department. This is really like Feige running the TV studio, that those would be rough. And it feels like maybe that's how he works, and eventually it'll work out better, and we'll see about that. But the Falcon, or Captain Falcon or whatever, the Captain America where Anthony Mackie or Sam Wilson is playing the Falcon Captain America was great, because I will say that part is great because his whole character was he likes being Falcon. Like, he's been Falcon his whole time. He likes having the wings. And this is like he's Captain America, but he's the Falcon version of Captain America. He is not Chris Evans' version of Captain America. And I thought that was a really good idea. I thought, it's also interesting that the Wakandans made him Captain America, not America. It's interesting that in a overseas country with more money is what made him Captain America, not the U.S. government. There's a lot to read into there. But the problem with that character is, and I do think he has to deal with like this huge amount of racism and the history there and everything like that. But it just didn't feel personal. Like, you don't hear them really deal with Sam himself, which you could have seen them do, like when he couldn't, at the beginning of the show, when he couldn't get a loan for his sister and stuff like that. But they don't really want to deal with that in this, and I think I think that didn't work. But the fights in this were great. The Sharon Carter reveal was really lame and not handled very well. The U.S. Agent stuff, it felt like they were trying to just like wiping that over so we could have U.S. Agent be cool or something. I remember people used to like U.S. Agent in the 90s, or at least the comic book store I went to. We'll see if people actually do. It did feel like an ending that the show didn't really deserve necessarily. I did like certain elements to it, like what happened with Zemo and his butler. I liked sort of where this was going, but overall it's like, oh, you didn't make up for it in this way, you didn't feel like you're going here and stuff. It just felt like the point of like they didn't know where they're going at the beginning, and like why was this called Falcon Winter Soldier? It was kind of like, if you look at old shows where they're like, we have this guy and this guy, it deals with their relationship, and as much as it felt like they were doing it at the beginning, it felt like they just dropped it. I was really let down by this show because I felt like they could have done something interesting with it. They sort of did, and then they felt like it was ending, and then it wasn't. I just sort of felt like this was a mess. I think like Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson deserves more from this. I did like him, like you see him as Captain America. He is the guy, he's like a mediator, he's a group counselor, person like that, like a community leader, much like what Obama was basically, which I was getting that they were trying to make him in the vein of that, like who is a great American in the eyes of America now. And a great American when, you know, Steve Rogers was Captain America, was like his version. And I think in a post-Obama world, he would be sort of like that. That's sort of what I thought they were trying to get at with that. But I ultimately kind of at the end was let down by the show, and it becomes like a thing where like I just felt really disinterested in it. And, you know, as I've been doing these recaps and making these later videos, I was sort of getting sick of the whole thing of it. And I just like, I like watching like the Screen Crush videos where they go through Easter eggs and things like that. And there's certain things I like and people I like to read, and I got less and less interested in it because the show was becoming less and less interesting to me. So I do feel kind of let down by it. I'm not sure if I'll do another one of these, and this sort of turned me off from doing it in the end. We'll see. A super chat from Sinran. Sinran says, if Sharon is an adversary in Cap 4, I expect she'll be the secondary villain, not the primary one. That could be true. We know so little about that, who knows? But I'd say so. You know, it was kind of playing with the whole idea of back and anyway, sorry. Thank you for the super chat, Sinran. Cheers to you. Yeah, we'll see who the villain is or how they're going to handle that. Or, you know, what exactly are they going to do with him as Captain America in a movie versus a show? Like, there's a lot of questions I have. I was surprised to find out two things I found out that were surprising. The leaper guy, or the leaper, whatever, the guy they fight in this who Sharon calls in, he was actually the guy Captain America fought in the beginning of Winter Soldier. Actually, he's been a Captain America villain like this whole time. And then, maybe I'll check out the Mr. Sunday ones. Thank you, Umbrella T. Next time I will. And then also the guy, this is like, anyway, I texted my dad this because he's the only one who cares. So maybe I'm just throwing this in here. But Malcolm Spellman, who's the lead creative person on Falcon Winter Soldier, I was like, why is his dad, A.B. Spellman, constantly highlighted? And A.B. Spellman was actually a part of the Black Arts movement. Malcolm Spellman is Black, BT dubs, and was an arts administrator for the National Endowment for the Arts, and he was instrumental in supporting jazz in the United States from 1975 to 2005. So congrats to him. That sounds really cool. But yeah, it's my dad was interested in that, so I thought, well, let's put this in here. I don't think anyone's talking about that. I don't think I'll probably ever be watching this again. It felt like it just ran out of steam and didn't know where it was going. And I think it set up certain things well, like Marvel often does. I'm curious what they're going to do with the character. I did like his suit. He seemed cool. I do like that he's a superhero who's more based on his own intellect and how talented he is as a person, no superpowers or anything like that. I'm curious what they'll do with him. I like Anthony Mackie a lot. I hope we get a lot more from this character, and I hope they do more of them if they do this next time and work on their relationship, and we get more from the Anthony Mackie character that's connected to him, not just all the context around him, which is, although it is important, we need a little bit more from that. And we'll see. There are certain, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was great, things like that, but overall I think when you get to the end of the show, you're just like, okay, yeah, that's neat. And I'm hoping more for Loki, but we'll see. I think I want maybe a show that has a little more fun, is a little more with the Marvel Universe, is more interesting than a straight ahead show if you're going to do it as messy as this one ended up being.